Good evening. You are tuning in to AWANI Tonight with me, Cynthia Ng. The government will provide a subsidy of 950 ringgit per ton for imported white rice in the states of Sabah and Sarawak from this Thursday. According to Minister of Agricultural and Food Security, Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu, his ministry has also asked the Federal Agricultural Marketing Authority of FAMA to increase distribution of local white rice to rural areas.
RM31 bagi kampet 10 gram. Langkah ini diambil 10 kilogram. Langkah ini diambil memandangkan pengeluaran beras putih tempatan di Sabah dan Sarawak adalah terlalu terhad.
Muhammad Sabu added that because the sales margin of local white rice is only 50 cents per 10 kilograms of rice, the government will bear the transportation cost for FAMA in the two states. This is part of the government's effort to overcome the rice supply issue in the country.
Sarawak Premier Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg has requested Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim to grant the state autonomy over its education. He says this will enable his administration to better implement planned school projects and educational development in the state.
He said Sarawak was seeking a consistent education policy and better school infrastructure. According to Abang Johari, the state government had built rural schools that lacked safety measures for both students and teachers, as Putrajaya had not allocated funds. He added that a school in Gedong has resorted to using containers as classrooms, as its buildings were in bad shape. As such, he said funding for school projects should come under the federal government as provided for under the federal constitution.
The Air Pollution Index API readings at 9 locations across the country remained unhealthy as of 8 p.m. today. According to the Malaysian API management system, Nilai in Negeri Sembilan reported to have the highest reading at 160. Also reported with unhealthy air quality in the Klang Valley and Selangor are Cheras, Petaling Jaya, Shah Alam, Banting, Johan Setia and Putrajaya. Also logging unhealthy air quality readings are Seremban and Port Dickson, which reported 155 and 151 respectively. Air quality readings of 101 to 200 are categorized as unhealthy. Schools must comply with the Education Ministry's guidelines following the return of the haze. Education Minister Fadlina Sidek says this includes no outdoor activities for schools in areas where the air pollution index reading exceeds 100.
Kita memang dah ada garis panduan kita dan kita kekal dengan garis panduan tersebut. Kita minta semua sekolah untuk patuhi garis panduan tersebut. Maknanya kalau IPU lebih daripada 100, tiada aktiviti luar boleh dilaksanakan dan ikut garis panduan tersebut. Ya. Sebagaimana yang sering kita tegaskan, garis panduan ini terpakai kepada semua dan mesti dipatuhi untuk mengelakkan sebarang kejadian yang tidak diingini.
Fadlina added that her ministry would consult with the Health Ministry from time to time regarding recommendations to close schools or mandating face masks.
The World Bank has cut its target for Malaysia's GDP to 3.9% for 2023 from an earlier projection of 4.3% amidst a substantial deceleration in external demand. However, lead economist Apurva Sanghi believes that domestic demand will continue to support the country's economy this year, but warned that a limited fiscal space will remain as the key challenge moving forward.
Let's also keep in mind that there are dampening effects on spending growth from monetary policy normalization, especially in interest rate sensitive sectors. And one important statistic to keep in mind is that Malaysia has the second highest household debt in the region after Thailand. So the lagged effects of monetary policy would be expected to have an impact this year.
Apurva also highlighted that Malaysia was sensitive to changes in external demand, especially regarding the country's largest trading partners, the United States and China. The World Bank estimated that a 1 percentage point fall in the US growth rate could reduce Malaysia's economic growth by 0.82 percentage points, while a 1 percentage point fall in China's GDP growth rate could drag Malaysia's GDP by 0.45 percentage points. Meanwhile, he added that around 490,000 Malaysian households remain vulnerable and are grappling with the aftermath of COVID-19, underscoring the importance of effective and well-targeted social protection programs. Malaysia's economy is projected to grow to 4.3% in 2024. Building coalitions of stakeholders to address issues of common concern such as climate change and food security is key to ensuring meaningful progress towards sustainability. Khazanah National Managing Director Dato' Amirul Faizal Wan Zahir says that no single entity, however powerful or influential, could tackle these issues by itself.
I made a point that the issues we collectively face are all incredibly complex. No single entity, however powerful or influential, can tackle issues by itself. It requires engaging a whole host of stakeholders, a bargain of sorts, be it local communities, government, or NGOs. Just imagine trying to tackle something like climate change, or food security, or economic development, but only with, say, just public policy or just invested capital. It's just not possible.
Amirul was speaking in his opening address at the 2023 Khazanah Megatrends Forum on Monday. We'll take a quick break. Stay tuned for more.
Ada drama yang merungkai misteri tersembunyi.
It's not about basketball. It's about winning.
Better watch out.
Kisah pengembaraan hebat.
I am Puss in Boots.
Okay. There's something out there calling to me.
Khayalan.
Not be the prince, you gotta kiss the prince.
Malah pembunuhan.
We get her talk, we can just girl talk.
Today's okay out here?
Hey, Mama, yeah, we're like work and...
I don't think so.
Di mana jua bila-bila masa anda perlukan seorang wira.
He's done it again!
Dengan hanya satu klik, stream pelbagai kisah dan wira-wira hebat di satu tempat. Astro baru, switch sekarang.
Asking the tough questions is what we do every day here on Astro AWANI. Catch me every weeknights at 10:30 p.m. across all AWANI platforms.
Indonesia has opened Southeast Asia's first high-speed rail to the public today after years of delay and cost overrun. The train, which connects the capital Jakarta to the nearby city of Bandung, can carry up to 600 passengers at a top speed of 350 kilometers per hour.
Indonesian President Joko Widodo inaugurated the 142-kilometer railway called WUSH, an acronym for time-saving, optimal operation, reliable system in Indonesian. The high-speed railway is a key project in China's Belt and Road infrastructure. Largely funded by China, it was planned to cost $4.3 billion, but the price tag ballooned to $7.3 billion. With a top speed of 350 kilometers per hour, the bullet train will cut travel time between Jakarta and Bandung from the current 3 hours to around 40 minutes. The line was originally due to open in 2019, but has been delayed by disputes over land acquisition, environmental issues, and the COVID-19 pandemic.
A top court in Indonesia has rejected a petition to review a controversial pro-investment law passed earlier this year that labor and environmental groups say is too pro-business. The so-called Omnibus Law, which aims to streamline bureaucracy, is key to President Joko Widodo's legacy of economic reform as he prepares to leave office next year. Labour groups had petitioned the Constitutional Court to review the law, which they said was formulated in an unconstitutional manner and unfairly favoured businesses over workers and consumers. In December 2022, Jokowi issued an emergency decree to expedite parliamentary approval of the Omnibus Law, sparking massive protests across the country. Legal experts had criticized the decree as a government ploy to bypass proper debate in Parliament, while civil society has questioned the independence of the Constitutional Court after Jokowi's brother-in-law was reappointed Chief Justice in March. At least 10 people were killed in northern Mexico when a roof of a church collapsed during Mass on Sunday. 50 others were reportedly injured. Police said that about 100 people were in the church in Ciudad Madero when the incident happened.
Military personnel supported emergency services into the night, using rescue dogs to identify and dig out survivors from the ruins of the church. Officials later said all the missing had been accounted for. Ciudad Madero is a town of just more than 200,000 people on the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. Following the collapse, calls were made on social media for medical and rescue materials to aid those searching for survivors. Footage of authorities showed them raising their fists in the air as a call for silence, so they could hear any calls for help coming from those stuck under the wreckage.
At least 13 people have been killed in a fire in a nightclub in Murcia in southeast Spain. Emergency services said rescuers were still searching for people unaccounted for after the blaze. Authorities said that on Monday that the dead were found in the Fonda Milagros nightclub, one of 3 adjoining clubs that sustained majority of fire damage, including the collapse of its roof. Police investigators were unable to access the site due to the high temperatures and danger of collapse. Officials declared 3 days of mourning for the deceased, and flags were lowered to half-mast outside Murcia's City Hall. Japan's top talent agency, Johnny & Associates, says it will focus on compensating victims of sexual abuse by its late founder, Johnny Kitagawa, before being dissolved. The agency will also be changing its name to Smile Up, disassociating itself from Kitagawa. Moving forward, new president Noriyuki Higashiyama said the agency would split into 2 entities, one devoted to compensating the 325 people who have sought damages so far, while a separate company would be set up to take over the talent management business, renewing contracts with individuals or groups wishing to stay. Its new name will be chosen by fans of its entertainers. The agency, which only represents male entertainers, admitted last month that Kitagawa had abused hundreds of boys and young men seeking stardom since the 1970s. Kitagawa's niece, Julie Fujishima, apologized and resigned as agency president in September, adding that it was her duty as Kitagawa's kin to put an end to Johnny & Associates. The 2023 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine has been awarded to scientists Katalin Kariko and Drew Weissman for their discoveries that led to the development of COVID-19 vaccines. The Medicine Prize kicks off this year's awards with the remaining 5 awards to be unveiled in the coming days. The mRNA technology developed by Kariko and Weissman was experimental before the COVID-19 pandemic. They published their results in a 2005 paper that received little attention at the time, but later laid the groundwork for crucial developments that benefited humanity during COVID-19. The same technology is now being explored for other diseases, including cancer. The pair will receive their prize, consisting of a diploma, a gold medal, and a check for $1 million from the King of Sweden at a formal ceremony in Stockholm on December 10. That wraps up AWANI Tonight. I'm Cynthia Ng. Thank you for watching and good night.